Hey guys, it's Kate, and today I wanted to talk about commissions and why you should or should not take any deposit before you start work. So I have this one rule, and it is to take a 25% upfront deposit for any painting that I'm going to do. And before I even start any serious work on it, it also includes even discussing reference photos with the client. I will explain the scenarios why I take this deposit. So the first and the biggest thing that usually happens if you are not taking a deposit, the client can disappear. So that is awful, and I had to learn the hard way. It happened when I just started painting watercolor pet portraits, and there was this lady that wanted her dog painted, a dog that had passed away recently, painted on an A3 with watercolors, and it was a realistic painting, which was fine with me because I was really happy that I actually got to do it. So the first problem was that the lady didn't have any good reference photos, and the only photo that she sent me was very bad. It was really awful quality, and the dog in that photo was held in hands. So basically his kind of paws were a bit scrunched up, and he had his eyes half closed and wore a clown wig. Yes. So it wasn't only the dog, it was also the hair. So as it was a memorial piece, and the lady said she doesn't have any other pictures, so this is the first bell that should have like a ding alarm. But yeah, I said fine, and we discussed it, all the small details, what she wants and what she doesn't want in that picture. I asked her multiple times about the wig. So I told her that it's watercolor and you cannot make any major changes once you put the color on paint, like the paint on the paper. She said that she wants the wig on the dog. I painted the painting, which came out pretty good. I think it came out really well, to be honest, but I didn't put the wig on at first. It actually looked like that dog, and I was really happy with it. Really excited about it. So I sent her the photo of the painting, and she's really ecstatic. She loves it. And then she asks me to paint the hair. So I asked her multiple times again, do you really want me to paint the hair? She says, yes, I'm more than sure I want the hair there. So there was something particular about that photo, and I said that I think it's not gonna add anything to the picture. It will look a lot better without, but then she insisted, and I said, fine. So the client is always right? So I paint this hair, and I send her the picture, and she tells me that, you know what, can you take the hair away? And I tell her that, no, it's watercolor, and I cannot take the hair entirely away. So there's nothing to be done with it. So basically the painting is finished and I cannot do anything about it. Then she says that she's fine with the hair, which makes me happy because I still am kind of conscious of the fact that a person might not like it. I get very anxious about it. And when the lady said that it's fine, it looks fine with the hair, and it actually did look like clown hair, and then she just disappeared. I contact her multiple times on Facebook where she found me. I send her different messages asking her if everything is okay, if something happened, I don't know. So she does answer, and she tells me that I don't have the money at the moment. I say, okay, if you want, I can hold the painting, I can hold on to it, and you can pay me later. At first she says fine, and then later in a couple of months I contact her again, and she tells me that she still doesn't have the money, and after that she just stops answering. So I still have the painting at home, actually at my mom's place because I painted it there, and this is my first big lesson about why I should start taking deposits. There are just some clients that bail on you. Sooner or later, it's bound to happen. So also about the painting that I never got paid for. It was the very beginning since I started work as an artist, and I was charging very few for any painting that I was doing, just because I wanted to have the experience. I wanted to get the word spread about me. And the first paintings that I did were actually £10 per painting, or 15, I don't remember now. But the A3 painting, the realistic A3 painting in watercolor, I remember that with all the delivery, with all the packaging and delivery to the United States, it was under £60. So I don't think that it's a lot, and it took me multiple days before I finished the painting because I really put my soul into what I do. So yeah. So the next reason why I take the deposit is the attitude of the client. So what I mean by that is that any person, we're just wired that way. If we get things for free, they're just not worth to us. And I'm not saying that the client doesn't eventually pay for the work. He does. But the problem is that when you are not paying for something that you are requesting, like ordering, you do not treat it as seriously. So when a client pays a deposit, I see a more serious attitude towards my work. So they decide more seriously on the reference photo. They decide on the changes that they want to make to the reference photo, on all the process, because I stay in touch with my clients throughout all the work. I know that there are many artists that do not send VIP stage photos, but I always send my clients photos of the work in progress, and I want them to be sure that it's going ahead, so they see how it is done as well. It's very important for me to stay in touch with the client. So I found out that since I started taking deposits, the clients were answering a lot faster to my questions about the painting that I was doing, if I needed something to be clarified, or if I needed more reference photos. This is one thing. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the disappearing client. So imagine if you have started a work on a painting and the person was kind of interested in the beginning, he sent you a reference photo, and after a couple of days, he just disappears. You started the work and he disappears already then, not even letting you finish the job. You're kind of stuck with this half-finished thing, and you've spent your time, your art materials, and it actually kind of gets this very bad sensation inside of you because your work is not valued. So a person treats it very lightly. I don't know why there is this opinion amongst many people that artists are not doing what they do as a job. They don't consider it as a profession. So basically it's like, oh yeah, I could do that if I had more time. So this is the thing that really gets me angry when people say that. So as if they would be as good if they just decided that it is really a necessary thing to do. So basically for them, it's not worth spending their time on it. So they are hiring you to do a painting for them. Taking deposits definitely brings in the seriousness to the client. And this brings us to the next reason why I take deposits, is also these never-ending changes tantrum. So what I mean by changes is when the client decides that he, as I said, with the hair, he wants it, he doesn't want it. And what I do is I make sure that I clarify everything before I start any work. So I make sure that I tell the client that there's a precise amount of minor changes that can be done to any painting that I'm doing without the additional cost. If there are some changes that he still wants to do, let's say more than 3 changes, like they can go on and on and on, depending on the particular client. There are really people like that they will ask you to change something over and over and over, and eventually they will actually ask you to change it back to how it was. So I make sure that I mention that the changes will be paid for after, for example, 3 changes that I've made. And I make sure that they understand what major and minor changes are. So I explain that the composition cannot be rearranged once I start work. Sometimes there are even people that ask you to flip the image. So that's also a thing that they do not understand, that it's impossible to do. So another thing is the unsatisfied client. So what I mean by unsatisfied is that a person may not like the end result. The thing is to understand about that. So you get the deposit, you get some part of your time covered, and you get also the materials covered as well. So that's a good thing. So in case the client is not satisfied, there could be many reasons why he or she is not satisfied. But if you think about it, the client chose you. You didn't push your painting onto a client. So you didn't force them to order a painting from you. It's a commission. So they must have seen your works, they must like your style, and they chose you. Sometimes there are these things that happen, that a client says that he doesn't like your work just because he decided he doesn't want the painting anymore. So it means that for some reason, maybe he doesn't have the money, or I don't know, if they asked you to paint their girlfriend and then they broke up with her, they don't want to pay for it anymore, you are the one who's going to suffer the consequences, unfortunately. So by taking the deposit, you're making sure that at least you are covering some part of your time and the art materials as well. So by taking the deposit, you make sure that you avoid spending your time without actually being paid for it. You make sure that you have serious clients that actually want to buy your work. And you make sure that these clients do not exaggerate with their changes tantrums. So if you do happen to have bad clients like that and you do not take a deposit, there's another way to go around it, and you can increase the price of your paintings so that other people that order your paintings kind of cover for those losses that you have with this bad client that didn't pay. This is not something that I would like to do, because I don't want my good clients to pay for someone who does not treat my work as serious and does not value it. I prefer taking the deposit instead of doing it this way. So this is only my thoughts and my attitude towards work, which I do with big passion and I take it really seriously. So if you would like to step into the art stage and actually earn some money from it and not be devastated by the fact that someone refuses to pay you or just ignores you completely, make sure that your time is valuable. Make sure that your art skills are valuable. So value yourself. Do not feel bad about taking the deposit. Explain to the client. Actually, people don't even ask, why am I taking a deposit up front? They understand. I let them know that, unfortunately, I had an experience when I just simply didn't get paid. So this is my opinion. So for now, this is it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that it was useful and I will see you in the next video. But until then, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out my other videos with art tips and tutorials. And I will see you. Bye.